I feel fantastic. This is going to be my first time challenging for a championship in CMLL. And again, I will say this 12 times during this interview, I'm sure, but Arena Mexico is one of the best crowds in the world. The energy there is fantastic. I feel like I am on top of my game right now. I just got 2 huge victories in the Gold League, in the Continental Classic, and AEW. And I think transferring this momentum that I have in AEW onto CMLL and defeating Máscara Dorada, who is one of my favorite wrestlers on the entire CMLL roster. I think he's incredibly impressive. And I think that a victory on Friday, December 19th is going to be huge for me.
Hello, Mike. It's nice to see you again.
I started wrestling in Canada a very long time ago. And I was banned from the United States for 5 years. So when I started picking up momentum in pro wrestling, I was looking towards the US and the major companies there as for the next step in my career. And obviously that became impossible, right? And I had to travel the world. I had to go around to Japan a lot. I went to Mexico earlier in 2015 for a smaller promotion. And I spent a lot of time in Europe, wrestling in as many countries as I can. And I do believe that the best thing that a professional wrestler can do is wrestle in different contexts, wrestle opponents of different styles, different calibers from different countries, wrestle in different audiences. And so I think that the exchange right now between AEW and CMLL and New Japan, of course, who is a big part of this family of professional wrestling companies, is the best thing for professional wrestlers to develop their skills. And I would hope that I'm coming to CMLL with a completely different style. I'm not a luchador. I wrestle differently. I wrestle differently from wrestlers in America as well, wrestlers all over the world, as I've cultivated my style that is a mix of martial arts and just international pro wrestling. I think that being able to win a championship and be challenged by luchadors would only be beneficial for everyone. The respect is mutual. I feel the exact same way about him. I think he's tremendously impressive, and I think his rise in CMLL has been nothing short of impressive. And I think the way he's been performing in the Blue League in the Continental Classic in AEW, his victory over Claudio Castagnoli is incredibly impressive and something to be proud of. So I think he is, of course, one of the rising stars of Lucha Libre, a tremendous pro wrestler on a world class. But I mean, the last thing I want is to wrestle someone who underestimates me. I want someone who respects me, knows what I'm about, and is going to come prepared and offer me the kind of challenge that I want.
You will be fighting for one of the titles of CMLL against Máscara Dorada this Friday. It's a big opportunity, but it's not the first time that a wrestler from AEW has competed. Commander had the opportunity to challenge for the title too, but unfortunately he got a bit short. And there are also other championships that have been contested between wrestlers from different organizations that are partners of CMLL right now. We've seen Claudio Castagnoli as the heavyweight champion. We've seen Místico getting back the belt from MJF. We've also seen Los Hermanos Chavez, one of the top tag teams in the world right now, as the World Tag Team Champions. So I want to know Speedball's thoughts on current champions in CMLL, and if there's any of them or some of them that you would like to challenge, either as a singles competitor or maybe bringing back the Jet, Kevin Knight, and have Jet Speed challenge for some tag titles?
This feels like a little bit of a leading question, but yeah, of course, I would like to win the welterweight championship for Máscara Dorada, but also, obviously, Kevin Knight and I came and we did 3 shows for CMLL, and we had excellent performances, winning 2 of our 3 matches, falling short of, Máscara Dorada Neon, which was the original opponent for Kevin Knight on December 19th. Neon, who had to back out due to his injury, is now replaced by the equally impressive Soberano. But of course, my goal in AEW is to have the men's heavyweight championship for myself, for Kevin to have the TNT championship, and for us to hold the tag team championships as well. So I have the same goals for CMLL, is to each hold individual championships as well as the tag team championship. And of course, we got to wrestle Angel de Oro at the Sunday show that we did in Arena Mexico, and he is tremendous. Got to wrestle him in the Grand Prix as well. And Kevin and I, we've had this discussion several times. We do have our eyes set on the tag team championships and on beating Hermano Chavez for them. And so, yeah, obviously that is a huge part of the plan. The biggest challenge was the Friday match that we had against Máscara Dorada and Neon. They came in with such incredible energy. And of course, that was our only defeat as Jet Speed for that weekend. But you mentioned the hard schedule and the traveling, and that is what I love the most. That is what I love to do. I feel like I'm at my best when I am fully immersed in professional wrestling. And I mean, I will be coming directly. I left last Tuesday to go to Atlanta than I did where I wrestled Kyle Fletcher for AEW Dynamite. Then I flew over to Cardiff in Wales where I wrestled Kevin Knight one-on-one in a huge singles match. And now I'm in Manchester where AEW Dynamite takes place on Wednesday. And so on Thursday, I'll be going directly to Mexico. So it's another very, very long trip for me. I'm away from home a lot. But as much as I miss home, I am happy to be on the road always. I love pro wrestling. It's what I do for a living. So the more immersed in it that I can be, the better for me. Because I already held Lucha Libre in very, very high esteem. I think if you look at the entire world of professional wrestling, a lot of it has become diluted across the world. Everything is just independent wrestling. I feel like for the last, 20 years, pro wrestlers have access to all the pro wrestling they can watch on the internet, and across the entire world for independent wrestling, that has kind of evened out the style everywhere except in Mexico, where it's pretty much the only place in the world right now that has a unique style that is absolutely different from what you'll see anywhere in the world in terms of professional wrestling, because there is such a rich history and culture behind it. And honestly, I hope it doesn't change. I think Lucha Libre is perfect as it is. And I mean, I do believe that pro wrestlers make decisions based on the audience and the people who watch the pro wrestling, right? And I think that Lucha Libre is perfect for Mexico. It's exactly done as the audience demands, which sounds simplistic, but I can't say the same for so many other regions in the world where pro wrestlers are way too often attempting to do something that isn't what the audience needs or asks for. But I think Mexico is the one place in the world where that is perfectly executed. I had such a wonderful time in the Grand Prix. I thought this is exactly the kind of event that pro wrestling needs. Again, mixing pro wrestlers from all over the world, all the best at their individual styles and their individual countries come together. It was one of the hardest matches I've ever been in my entire life. I was in the ring for, I believe, bell to bell, an hour and 20 minutes or something, being in the final two against Místico. But one thing that I felt more than anything is the sense of national pride that the audience has in Mexico and that the Mexican people have for the luchadors of CMLL. And I mean, it's something that I've carried with me. Jet Speed, me and Kevin Knight are usually fan favorites over in America, but to get so aggressively booed in Mexico is a little bit surprising. But if that's how the audience is going to treat us, then we're just going to roll with it and use it to our advantage. So I'm perfectly fine with it. And I was not surprised by it during the Grand Prix, given the attitude of my teammates. I was a little bit taken aback by the reception that we got on the Friday show where we wrestled Neon and Máscara Dorada. But that's carried on with us, and I don't expect it to change, and I'm going to be there for every second of it. Místico right now is slowly becoming one of the biggest legends in Lucha Libre history. I mean, we know some of the big names that have happened in the past, and I think there's a good argument to be made that Místico is up there with, some of the greatest Lucha Libre legends in history. So, of course, I would certainly put my beautiful hair on the line to chance to write Lucha Libre history and take Místico's mask away. I feel like that would cement me as part of CMLL history from there on out. But, I've been growing this mullet for quite a few years now. I do believe it brings me great power, and it has become, symbolic with Speedball Mike Bailey. A lot of people come up to me and say, you are the inspiration behind growing my mullet. So not only is this iconic of me as a pro wrestler, but it's also slowly turning me into a fashion icon, I believe. So it means a lot to me. So I think we would be on equal footing if I were to put it on the line for the opportunity to change Lucha Libre history and take away Mystico's mask. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you all come on December 19th to watch what I'm sure will be one of the greatest matches in CMLL history. I have been doing some of my best work. I've had some of the biggest and best matches of my career recently in the Gold League, in the AEW Continental Classic, just defeated Kyle Fletcher, as well as Kevin Knight. I've still got some huge matches coming up against Okada and Jack Perry, and if I win them both, I could get a chance to win the Continental Championship at AEW World's End. So I am fully locked in and having some of the best singles matches of my life, and to have the chance to keep that going in Arena Mexico, one-on-one against Máscara Dorada, one of the best luchadors in the world right now. It absolutely means the world to me. So thank you in advance for your support, and please come watch the match on December 19th.